So in this week's news roundup, we've got some information. Carnival issues a warning that can affect everybody on every cruise line.
My name is Stuart. This is Ship to Shore Cruise News. Let's get into it.
Carnival has come out with a recent warning to all passengers, and this is something that's applicable to all passengers of all cruise lines, not just Carnival. Remember, drinking age is 21, and you got to remember that when you get off the ship, you have to abide by local laws. Marijuana is not acceptable on the cruise ship, and if you do get it on the cruise ship, be very wary of where you smoke it when you're in international countries. And always, always, always turn your phone into airplane mode once you get onto that ship. Turn cellular data off as well. Recently, a family returned from a Carnival Cruise and they found that they had over $400 in roaming charges. They couldn't figure out exactly what had happened, but all they know is that they were giving their child their phone to play games on, and well, that might have incurred the charges. Who knows what the child was actually doing on that phone? Were they roaming the internet? Or maybe that game they were playing was an online game using up data. So be very careful with your phone when you're on those cruising ships. You never know when you're going to wrap up that data. Carnival has also clarified its drone policy. So yes, you can bring those drones aboard, but you can't use them once you're on board. Once on board, your drone will be stored with the chief security officer, and it will be signed back in whenever you go to use it. When you are in the different ports, make sure you abide by the local port authority rules and regulations or the country's laws. They don't want you using your drone on board the ship because you never know what's going to happen. You could end up losing control and it could crash into some sensitive equipment. It could crash into people and cause an injury as well. Or it could end up going overboard and crashing into the sea. If that happens, Carnival could fine you up to $500 for disobeying their policies and rules, and then you might be liable for any fines that any environmental group may issue. So please be very careful what you're doing with your drones and obey all rules, regulations, and laws wherever you go. As many of you know, Carnival has brought back their behind-the-scenes tour. Behind the Fun, I believe it's called. I've taken one of these on a different cruise line, and it's really neat. It's really cool. You get to see what goes on behind the scenes. I got to see the laundry, the recycling facility, which is pretty cool. I got to see where they store the food. I was able to get up onto the bridge. It's a really neat tour. Carnival, though, recently had a problem with their booking on this. Typically, this tour is offered on the last sea day of the cruise, but in this one instance, Carnival was having a problem with their booking system, and people were receiving confirmation that this was going to happen on embarkation day of all days. I'm sure it would be quite interesting to see how they deal with all the food and provisions that they bring on board that day and how they deal with people's luggage. But they don't want people in the way. They're usually pretty busy that day. So double check it. If you did book it, make sure it is on the last sea day. If it's not showing that, you better call Carnival, call your travel agent, and just get clarification of the day. And the Costa Firenze is sailing its last sailing as a Costa branded ship. It's going to be going into dry dock for extensive renovations and new paint, and it's going to be coming out as the Carnival Firenze. It's going to be joining the fleet in its new home port of Long Beach, California. Take a look for that. It's going to be offering exciting 3 to 7 day sailings down to Baja, Mexico, and the Mexican Riviera down the west coast there. It's going to be visiting all the exciting ports that you're going to want to see down there. I'm very excited to see that ship set sail out of Long Beach, California. Before I get to the last things, I just want to ask you if you like this content, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button too with that notification if you'd like to hear more news and updates from the different cruise lines. It only helps me, it costs you nothing, and I would really appreciate it with that thumbs up and that subscribe. as we move on, I have to make sure that there's 3 important things that you know about cruising in addition to what I've told you today. And that's, my name's Stuart. This is Ship to Shore Cruise News. And as always, get your cruise on.